Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. And yeah, so a little, I don't want to say it's a rant, but we're going to be talking about iOS 14 and the ability to add widgets to the home screen, something that is, in my opinion, pretty cool. And yeah, so over the last 36 hours, there's been some chatter, there's been some issues going on. Those people that have been on iOS for a long time have never transitioned and never used Android are finding it a bit confusing on doing this. And I don't blame them, okay? When you're using an operating system and you're a part of an ecosystem that you've been using for years and never really tried the competition and the opposition, uh, yeah, configuring something new could be a bit confusing, aggravating, and time consuming, especially when you don't have patience. But that's okay. That's okay. It's you know what? These things are not hard to learn, and it's never too late to learn anything. So, with that being said, um, why is it that people are finding it complicating? Why is it that publications like The Verge are literally using the title with iOS 14, Apple is finally letting the iPhone home screen get complicated? Why are they using complicated? Is it a jab at Android still? I mean, are they not in support of Apple's decision of doing this with iOS 14? Because let me tell you, the article is not fully bad. It's not a whole like beat down on iOS 14 from The Verge, but you know, it outlines the fact that you can put widgets on your home screen on iOS. Now, the widgets, let me just say this from me using it, are not as intuitive as widgets on Android. Okay, like I compared the two. I have a widget for Apple News on my iPhone. I have a widget for Google News on my Android. Now, the Apple News widget on my iPhone sits there on the home screen and gives me 3 articles that I can tap and launch Apple News to read. On the widget for Google News, I can cycle through things on it without having to open the app. So a bit more to go with Apple, but I am happy in the fact that you can have like a weather widget on your home screen right there with your app icons. You can have your Apple Music widget on there. The point is, you don't have a specific area that's all widgets only and notifications. Like, you can move this stuff onto your home screen, and that's a big thumbs up for me to Apple because it's something that I felt would be useful. Now, the cool thing about it is that if it would be useful, if you're, you know, if you like just the app icons all over your screen, or if you just like them all grouped into folders, so be it. Leave it that way. You don't have to put widgets on there. Just because this is a new feature in iOS doesn't mean you, the user, has to put this in there. You don't have to. You can keep it the way you've always had it for years. But if you want, if you've always been like kind of looking at Android because of their ability to customize their home screen, but you didn't want to leave Apple because you are really rooted into the ecosystem. You have an iPhone, you have an iPad, you have a MacBook, you have a Mac Pro, you have an Apple TV, and then, you know, if you don't want to leave all that stuff, then, you know, obviously you didn't jump ship and go to Android. Now you have the ability to customize your iPhone much like you would on Android. Now, it's not exactly the same. There, you know, you can't apply like, was it launchers on top of iOS. So there is no launcher you can download in the App Store and just change the whole dynamics of your iPhone. I totally get that. And I think that's, you know, that's where Apple draws the line, right? It's still going to be controlled by Apple. It's still Apple's thing, okay? Launchers come from third-party developers that build all kinds of different styles and gives it a whole totally different look, making your Android device your own. So that is the difference. Still, that's a still large gap between iOS and Android. And to be honest with you guys, that's really what I like about it. You know, that Apple is bringing something that users would want it. Because yes, believe it or not, laugh if you want to, laugh out loud, hashtag LOL the comments at this part. Yes, there are those who are on Apple and iOS who jump ship to Android solely because the home screen can be customized. I mean, I've seen it. Now, I'm not saying every user who's jumped from Apple to Android jumps for that reason, but there are those who do jump for that reason. And so, yeah, now they really don't have to. You can put widgets on your home screen. You can make it look a certain way. You can hide apps that maybe you'll use sporadically, but yeah, you just don't want it taking up your home screen. You can hide entire pages, home screen pages on iOS now with iOS 14. So there's a lot that you can do now to customize, but it's not customizable like Android, and I can deal with that. To me personally out there, like I said, for people who use both Android and iOS, you don't have to bunker down and choose one over the other. You get the best of both worlds. Just rock with them. For those people who are just solely in the Apple ecosystem, then now you got a little bit to play with now. You can play with these. You can make your screen look however you want. There's people who have made it look like a Samsung device, for Christ's sakes. There's a lot of things that you can do now with iOS and iOS 14 that you really couldn't do before. And that's cool. In my opinion, that is really cool. I keep going over the same thing because I think it's really cool that it does that. And so for people who are sitting there kind of downplaying this or calling it an abomination because it's too complicated for them to figure out, it's not that complicated, okay? You're making it bigger than what it is. I mean, if you just literally take the time to just learn it. Heck, there's YouTube videos that shows you how to maneuver iOS 14 now. What? Is there so much pride you can't look at a YouTube video and actually just, figure it out on how to do it? I mean, sometimes people just gotta really, that pride is a very bad thing to have, okay? Just park it and move it aside and keep it pushing. And you know what? Watch that video from said YouTuber who has showed you how to add widgets to your home screen on iOS 14. Why not? Allows you to pretty much navigate this thing as a boss. And, when iOS 14 fully rolls out to iPhones, those people who didn't get it or didn't do the beta, when they finally have it, they're like, geez, I can't figure this out. You would be boss to just walk up and be like, oh yeah, you do it like this. Do this, do this, do this, that. Grab it and drag it here and blah, done. I mean, I don't know. It's not complicated. iOS 14 widgets are not complicated at all. They're not super intuitive. I'm going to say that. So diehard Apple fans, don't burn me at the stake. I'm just saying, it's just not. And you know what? Maybe they'll change in the future. Maybe right now this is just, Apple kind of looking at seeing how well people gravitate towards widgets. Are they going to like widgets? Is it going to be something cool? Should they keep it around? I mean, Apple really doesn't just go all in on something and then it comes and blows up in their face. I mean, they have in the past, but they don't really do that. So I mean, maybe if like widgets is something that's like super popular with iOS users, then Apple may start making their widgets more intuitive and more useful than just having it blotted onto your home screen. And I would really want that. I would really, really like that if they did that. Because that's the main, with widgets on Android, that's why I put them on my home screen on Android, is because I can maneuver within them without having to open the app. I can see things about the app that, I don't have to open the app. It's there, right? I can choose what widgets I have there. Google News is there. I can read news, really quick snippets from what's going on in what I'm interested in as far as current events, and I can see that. I can swipe through them. I can do a lot within the widget, and I would want to do that on iOS. But that will take time. That will take time for them to develop. Right now, this is just the beginning. Okay, this is just the beginning, and people have got to calm down. Those people who are just like me, that's like, I want the widgets more intuitive. Yeah, you just can't expect Apple to go and be like, poof, we just changed it up now and we've injected it with so much steroids that now it's just oozing capabilities within the widget. Like, no, we can't expect that, okay? We'll probably see this done in iOS 15 or maybe in iOS 14.1 or 14.5. I mean, there's so many different points to go through before it hits iOS 15. Maybe we'll see changes then. But until that time, I'll say this. One, it's not complicated. Park your pride and just learn it. And two, Okay, don't fully hang on the words of news publications like The Verge. When they say this, they're not saying it in such a super negative way, but it could be. I mean, I don't know, subliminal message there with them. I don't know. Um, but yeah, and the capabilities of the widget itself. Let's give time. Let's give Apple time to work this through. So, anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section of the video as far as iOS 14. Are you trying it out right now? What do you guys think about it? What do you guys think about the widgets? Let me get your feedback on the widget itself. Yeah, and no, I would love to read that. So, you guys know how to do that. Comment section. If you guys enjoyed today's video, you guys let me know by smashing that like button. If you disliked the video, then go ahead and thumbs down the video and tell me why in the comment section of the video. If you just found my channel and subscribed, thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it. And so that way you don't miss another video, go ahead and hit that bell notification, that bell icon, to be notified every time I do upload another video. That's it for right now, guys. Thanks for watching. And as always, Allah.